Hello friends, this is Nick Beech. I have the honour of being your host for What's West with Uncle Breeze. I'm very excited because this is episode 1. We're really thrilled to be able to bring this to you. A lot of people have been clamouring for a little bit more Breeze wisdom. We've had so many questions, and I'm really excited to be able to give you a little slice of wisdom from the man himself. We're looking to do more of these. Please stick around after the conversation. We're talking a little bit more about the show, about what's going on at the moment, and getting a little bit more wisdom from the man himself. So we'll get straight to it without any more ado. Here are your questions being put to the man himself, Mr. Jake Breeze. It's time for What's West with Uncle Breeze. I've got questions. I got actually a lot of questions. Considering it's been, just basically today?
Yeah, I mean 24 hours.
People are really excited about this.
Really?
Yeah, man. People are overjoyed that this is, finally happening. Grace has been an advocate for this in the past. We all have, man. Everyone.
Aww.
What have we had? We've had the cooking show. I think that was a very strong idea that people were championing for you. Anxiety chef. Yeah, there's just a growing community of people who just want to see a bit more. Yeah, and I think a bit of your wisdom and life through your eyes is something that people are very interested in.
Are we recording now?
Your storytelling. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Hello.
Yeah. I'm just going to start with the first one that I've got written here.
Okay.
Who are the 3 greatest people in history, and what would they do for us when we start to crawl out of the apocalypse?
See, right, who I'd want to do stuff for us when we crawl out of the apocalypse, I think the 3 greatest people are very different things.
Yeah, well, the question is, who are the 3 greatest people, and what would they do for us?
Can I have 3 and 1 honourable mention?
Give us the 3 greatest people, and then we'll go from there.
First one, Admiral Yi. Admiral Yi needs, he's a G, right? He knocks about. He was all about honour, and he was this guy from South Korea. I think it was just Korea then. Well, I mean, of course it was. It was sometime in the past. I think it was 1400 or something. Admiral Yi had a career in the Korean Navy, one of the most feared navies at the time, and it was pretty common practice to frame people who were gunning for your position and drag them down through public shame. And that happened to Yi 3 times, even though everyone knew he was the shit. They dragged him down, and he kept going. He stayed right. He didn't. You know what I mean? He didn't act like a Korean waste man. He just fucking kept on it. And I really respect that in a person. And also, we're gonna have to do some navigation of the world afterwards to see what state it's in, and who better than a sailor? As well, I think his dying words were something along the lines of, the battle is commenced, sound the war drums and do not tell the men of my death. So, one, that's pretty fucking hardcore. I mean, I just swear on this show. It's community radio, what are they going to do? But yeah, that's pretty fucking hardcore. So you know that in a pinch, Yi'd be the guy. Now, to balance Yi out, you got Jesus, is my number 2. Not in any particular order. But yeah, Jesus is my number 2. I've been reading the Bible a lot recently. I dig Jesus. He's a cool guy. Bit intense, but I think that what you need to balance out that kind of pig-headed determination to survive is you need someone like Jesus to be like, okay, we got 8 fish. And let's be honest, having a guy who can work miracles on your team is going to be mint.
Yeah.
So, I like Jesus. I think he's an interesting guy. It was all about love and compassion and not flogging things in temples. I'm for that. You know what I mean? Gift shops are mental. Don't you know what I mean? Don't sell me sunglasses outside the Vatican. Don't stop doing that. You know what I mean? But whatever, people have got to make money, and I suppose even after the apocalypse, we're probably going to have to be more shite because people are just going to have flogged loads of plastic. There's going to be plastic everywhere. So they'll just make shit out of it and we'll be flogging it. I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah. So Jesus would stop that, so that'd be good. And also, I think
he tore up that gift shop.
Yeah, he'd tear up the gift shop, and also, I don't think he'd be too bothered about the whole God thing afterwards. If we just said to him, "Look, Jesus, you can lead us on the promise that you just let people believe what they want to believe. We get that your dad's."
But that's the thing, though. There is no other way. He makes that very clear.
Yeah, he does, but that's where
Hindus.
Well, that's where ye'd even it out. Be like, listen, knobhead, calm down, or it's right back on the cross with you. So, like, it even
So
out.
you think you would have crucified Jesus again?
Probably, yeah.
And that's why you want him on the team.
If he got lippy,
with Jesus.
Be like, look, Jesus.
Okay, so your team is Jesus and the guy that you're gonna take Jesus out with if he doesn't do what you want.
Well, not specifically, but now that I'm thinking about it, because it'd be like, look, Jesus, you can talk to me or you can talk to ye. It's up to you. You know what I mean? He'd be like, oh, you know what, Breeze, I'll talk to you.
So is the plan threaten to horribly murder Jesus so that you then have his Jesus powers, which, given that he is one and the same as God and the universe, means you're going for the infinite power here move. I mean, I see it's a good move. I think having an enforcer to sort of back up your Jesus is,
Yeah, what I'm saying is we've
smart.
got a council of elders. You know what I mean? And
some of whom are under threat of death from the other elders.
Yeah, but at the same time, Jesus is going to cancel Yi out, because eventually Admiral Yi is going to want to go medieval Korean on this shit.
Jesus has already died, right? You're not going to be able to phase Jesus with killing him. Like, do you see how Jesus takes a killing? It was insane. That was one of the most hardcore things in history. Like, just.
I mean, maybe then Yi would respect.
I mean, oh no, he's going to shoot me. Come on.
I mean, maybe then there wouldn't be the friction then, because it wouldn't matter. Because they'd be like, Jesus would be like, well, what are you going to do, Yi? I've already died once. But then again, so was Yi. So it'd be like...
Yeah, but Yi stayed dead. That's the issue.
Yeah, but I'm not just going to have a dead Yi, am I?
Well, this is just saying, what would they be able to do?
Well, if they are allowed to resurrect him, I mean, Yi would sort out the logistics. Jesus would sort out the general social cohesion. And then the third person I'd pick... Keinzer.
Good choice. Good choice.
I'd pick Keinzer. I really respect Keinzer. She's kind, clever, knows stuff about medicine. One of the kindest people I know. I hope she knows how fond of her I am. She's a really cool person.
Mm-hmm.
I'd vote for her in any kind of election. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I also think they'd balance them out. You know what I mean? Because then you'd have Keinzer in the middle going, listen, lads, you're both from one of you's from the medieval period, one of you's from BC times. So you'd need that modern knowledge to be like, look, Jesus, we have this science stuff now. What do you reckon? You know what I mean? And then
I think Jesus would dig science.
Yeah, I think Jesus would dig Keinzer.
Oh, no question.
You know what I mean? So yeah, and someone with a bit of compassion. Because, I mean, the thing is about Yi and Jesus is they're a bit pig-headed. Whereas Keinzer would have that compassion. Even though I know Jesus is supposed to be the son of the Lord and everything, he does a lot more fire and brimstone than people give him credit for.
I mean, Jesus is an amazing guy, and no disrespect, but there's no way in hell he was smarter than Keinzer.
I'll take that, yeah. Keinzer might actually be tied. It's like a three-way tie for the smartest person I know. And I also owe a very big debt of gratitude, because when I first bumped into this wonderful group of people that we'd know, I was crashing on that couch a lot. I owe her a debt of gratitude, and I don't give them that house any near as much love as I should do. So that's on my team. And my honourable mention, who I think personally is one of the best people in the world, is a woman in Wales who knows who she is. She'd make my team.
Welsh woman. That's all you get to say?
That's all I'm going to say.
All right, cool. I mean, I think you kind of won me over at the end there, because I was really seeing holes in it, but I can kind of see how she'd be like, Jesus, come on, let's make this work.
Yeah,
let's
come on,
do this.
You know what I mean? We don't have to sail everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did question the equation of he's a sailor, Therefore, come say World War III. That's what we'll want is someone who's good with boats. Like I'm not sure.
Oh no, I'm on about like exploring.
Oh right.
Because I think we might evolve past. I think we might evolve past,
Get past war.
Because I was a bit originally when I was thinking about it when you asked it me. I was going to say Caesar or Marcus Aurelius, but I'm just like Caesar, interesting fellow to read about, bit of a dick.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
I mean, in a sense, he's one of history's biggest dicks.
Yeah,
like just a big dick. Swinging dick across Europe.
Yeah.
Like
it's like, come on, don't genocide people. You know what I mean? Just. I get it. Everybody likes power, but come on now. Do you know what I mean? Like,
if only you could have had this talk with young Julius. So much bloodshed could have been averted.
Well, yeah, and it's like, but I get it though, because there's that story about Caesar standing in front of a statue of Alexander and saying, and he was crying, and his mate was like, "What's up, Caesar?" And he was like, "Oh, by the time he'd reached his 23rd birthday, Alexander ruled an empire that spanned half the globe." I think it's Jesus. I think Caesar was in like his 30s at that point. He was like, "What have I ever done?" It's like, "Oh, Caesar, mate." Do you know what I mean? There is a little bit of you that wants to pat him on the shoulder. It's like, it's okay. Like, but because of that lust for power, be like, because he doesn't lust for power, he just wants to be the best at what he does. And he was. Jesus just wants everyone to get along. Kaiser just wants everyone to be alright. You know what I mean? I'd say that combined, they'd make a trifecta of awesome.
I can see if Kaiser's like, right, Jesus, do this. No, not that way, do that. Right, this is what we need. And it's just like, right, now we have, within a year, it's like everyone is clothed and housed. We've sorted out medicine. What do we do next?
And Kaiser
so that plus some muscle.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kaiser would be the ideas person.
Uh-huh.
And I think that you'd have Jesus on the left and Ye on the right.
I mean, surely Jesus on the left, right? This
yeah.
is surely in ridiculous how the right keeps saying he's more on the right. That's insane. Come on, did you read the Bible?
Jesus was a... what is it? What's the quote? Jesus was a dirty homeless hippie peace activist. Loving it.
Yeah.
Listen to... oh God, what's he called? Wingnut Dishwashers Union. That's the song that's out of, and it's
Wingnut Dishwashers Union.
Yeah, I think the album's called "Burn the World, Leave It Behind," and it's fantastic. But anyway, hit me with a question.
Please could you ask Jake for his views on capitalism and the best recipes for post-coronavirus meals, which may or may not include cannibalism. So coming out with a really, a big start.
Capitalism.
Yeah. So shouldn't take long.
Okay.
And then recipes.
I don't get it. I don't get when someone wakes up in the morning and one day goes, you know what, I want to make lots of money. Why? Because really, the shit that people make a lot of money for, really pointless. It's like, oh, fast car. Yeah, but you still got to sit in traffic, mate. Oh, I can have a big house. Yeah, but you've got to fill it with stuff then. And all it means is that you've got to trek 3 miles to get to the bathroom. Doesn't seem very amazing to me. You know what I mean? If I could, I'd just live in a trailer. Just, there's the bog, there's the kitchen. You know what I mean? There's the chopping board. I hang my boots over the faucet. You know what I mean?
Are we seeing a Jeep on this trailer? Is this a mobile operation? Is this like a trailer home?
Just like a little, one of them little eco-homes.
Not eco home.
The only thing is, though, is that it'd freak me out being able to look up and see my bed. That's a bit weird. You know what I mean? I used to have a mate who had a bed up a flight of ladders.
Right.
And I used to think, what if there's a fire? Or like, I don't know, there's something about sleeping up too high that I don't like. But we'll leave that. Capitalism. Yeah, in answer to that question, I can see it being on its way out, which is another reason that I'd have Kaiser on my team, because I reckon she'd be able to phase in a cool, with her and Jesus combined, you'd have a cool bit of socialism going on. So I think that's maybe what we're headed towards now.
That's the thing, because if you've got Jesus, you can have socialism.
Yeah.
Because, like, oh, here you go.
Yeah.
Everything for everyone.
First shall be last, and the last shall be first.
Jesus is just there multiplying and multiplying.
Yeah. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and unto God what is God, and all the rest of it.
Bringing Caesar back as well.
Nah, I'm a fucking. He's staying dead, that lad. No, scary man.
A lot, yeah. He did get killed a lot when he eventually did get killed.
Yeah.
Like a lot of killings at once.
You know what I mean? You don't get stabbed 53 times and you didn't do something wrong. There's no smoke without fire.
He must have made a mistake somewhere, right?
You've pissed someone off, haven't you?
Where'd you think it was? What are you calling it?
What do you mean?
What are you calling Caesar's greatest mistake?
Greatest mistake? I'd say probably debt.
Debt.
Because once Crassus died, Caesar then lost his main supply of income to pay off his debtors.
He was a big spender.
It was in massive amounts of debt.
Yeah.
And because of that, once the triumvirate collapses, he's completely exposed. I think, in fairness, he had to put up that debt to in order to get his position. But I think Caesar, under no circumstances, should have allowed Crassus to go to Parthia and die on a fool's errand. I think that was his greatest mistake.
Yeah, when you put it like that, it does seem like an error.
Yeah, massive error.
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think, as well, just hubris. You know what I mean? It's the same with many great people. Hubris, you know what I mean? But anyway, recipes. Welcome to the way my mind works. So, see, I'm not into eating human flesh. I've had this debate many times with many people. It makes you ill. Don't do it. Like, just don't do it. It makes you ill.
How ill?
From what I hear, quite ill. Like, it's a bit more than a cold. You know what I mean?
Is it psychosomatic? Because you're like, ugh.
I think that's only if you... Eric insane. It's only if you eat the brain, I think, that you get that.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, brains is weird.
Yeah, don't eat brain.
So you can eat people. Don't misrepresent it.
You can, but it does make you ill. Apparently, that's what I've heard. Not off people who vet people, just off internet.
I mean, there's famously a lot of people who really enjoyed eating people.
Well,
and there's no mention of, like, even though it totally made them hurl, they still loved it. They seem to just be like, oh. Like Hannibal Lecter never has to go and puke. He's just like, oh.
It's not for every meal.
He eats like every part. He's mad for it.
I mean, fair enough to him. Like, waste not.
He fed brains to the other guy, but then he'd already lobotomised the guy, so it probably didn't matter as much.
I mean, if you've got someone lying around and you're in the post-apocalypse, because I mean, what I was going to suggest is just, man, all you need to do, an easy cheap meal. I'm still going to do it at some point. Is start a little blog just called Austerity Kitchen. Just really cheap meals. The easiest one to do is just all you need is a tin of tomatoes, some kidney beans or some butter beans, about half a tin of each of them. Mix it all together. A couple of bay leaves and half a chilli and 3 cloves of garlic. Fry all that up with half an onion, and that's like most of your 5 a day in one meal. And then if you want to sprinkle a bit of human in there, I mean you play ball. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that you can, most of the time, you want roughage, you want pulses, and you want fresh veg. You want a lot of colours in there, and it's dirt cheap.
You want some brown with your person?
Yeah, and like brown rice.
Do you think eating a person is worse than eating a dolphin? Like a bit of one.
Are they cooked?
Why does it matter?
Because I think eating a raw dolphin is better than eating a cooked person.
Okay, unpack that for me.
Because a raw person, you're going in at it. Like,
do you mean you're assuming it's the other person is
the dead?
Yeah. All right, okay. I
like
thought you were imagining just really getting
because if you're eating a raw dolphin, I think that's a choice. Whereas for me, a raw person, that's desperation. Because if you were going to eat a person, you'd fucking cook them. If you were planning on it.
I'd probably cook the dolphin, to be honest.
No, you would.
Yeah.
No, you would. But what I'm saying is that's what I equate it with. Like, you're desperate if you're eating raw anything. So, if you're eating raw human, mate, you're in dire straits. Because let's be honest, I don't care how hungry you are. You'll cook a human.
You'd probably cook a Yeah, alright, yeah, I see that.
But
I would judge someone a lot more, I think, for eating a raw person.
Yeah, cook it. man, what's up with you?
Yeah, well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But like,
something.
raw dolphin, that's easy done.
Also, it makes it look it's such an alien thing.
Yeah.
I guess it's a mammal, but it's like, I don't know.
I mean,
sea.
you'd eat the tongue first.
It's probably good. It probably is good eating.
See
I
what I
say
mean?
it. I don't want
Roughage.
one. Is that roughage? That's like meat and protein.
Yeah, roughage.
Is that roughage? Roughage is like bran flakes.
Victuals.
Like,
As my grandma used to say, it's stick in your ribs. Keep you
I'm not sure any of these things are real. What is this?
Oh, that's...
Victuals and sticky ribs. This actually sounds like menu items.
Just something my grandma used to say, it'll stick in your ribs, that lad.
Doesn't it like, I don't know, greasy or... I don't know.
It's just anything that'll keep you warm.
Right, okay.
It's like, you know, like half water, half milk porridge. Or like corned beef hash, sticks in your ribs. Lobby, you know what I mean?
Blobby.
Yeah.
Sort of gums you together a bit.
Yeah, it's good stuff. But that's where raw dolphin would come in. Sorry, cooked dolphin would come in. Because that means that because when you're cooking something, you've had the thought, you know, you've not just stumbled across it. You've had the thought of like, right, I'm having that. I'm going to eat that. So, there's a lot of muscle on a dolphin. Dolphins are probably quite nice.
Probably pretty lean.
Yeah.
Toned.
Yeah.
They sort of flap around all day. They don't stop.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
You never find any fat on a dolphin. You can never like pinch an inch on a dolphin.
Exactly. So I think like the hierarchy would be at the bottom of least horrific cooked dolphin, then raw dolphin, cooked human, raw human. I reckon.
Do you think you'd be forgiven more easily for eating human flesh or dolphin flesh?
You know what, mate?
You've got to explain it to the public.
In this day and age, human. Because there's going to be very few situations where you go, there was nothing else. I had to eat the dolphin.
You can have a turtle, can't you?
Yeah.
You know
what I mean? Like, but it happens all the time. People crash on a plane and there's nothing else for eat. I just think they don't like peanuts. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're just like, fuck it. Kenneth died, we'll have him. Do you know what I mean?
Have Kenneth.
Yeah. Fuck you, Kenneth. We're eating you.
At what point do you think you would be up for eating someone? And give a scenario or an amount of time in like a classic plane crash. What's your line?
It depends. Depends on a couple of things. One, is it a choice? Or are they just there? As in, I best to explain this. As in, if I'm in a restaurant and someone goes to me, I'm like, what? He's like, do you want to taste human? There'd be a good 40% of me that would go, yeah, go on then. Do you know what I mean? It's like if someone said to me, do you want to eat a dog or an otter? I'd be like, yeah, go on.
You'd have dog.
Yeah, I'd eat a dog. Don't you know? I want to know what it tastes like.
Folks.
I mean, me and Tom Ryder nearly had a cat. Well, no, let me...
Okay, we're going to need
Right.
more on that.
So, do you remember that place in Russia that got done for killing them cats and cooking them and selling it as chicken?
Oh God. Yeah.
Well,
we looked after a cat that went missing.
Yeah.
Sick.
We ate at that place
Oh my God.
the week before it all came out.
Oh my God.
And it was all lemony and weird and the meat was grey. And we were like... And I think
how expensive is meat?
I mean, too expensive,
How
clearly.
much meat is on a cat? My God.
I mean...
So terrible.
Don't get me wrong, we might have not eaten cat, but it certainly was weird meat. So it's probably...
Oh.
That was a strange day. But yeah, but for example, if that bloke would have, in that chicken shop would have gone, listen, don't say anything, but do you want a bit of human toe? The inside, so it's clean. And he didn't want it. He just...
There's not really a lot of meat inside a toe.
But I mean, just a little sliver. Little you know
A
what I
little
mean?
bit.
Just a little.
Well, toe's an interesting one because toe seems a lot less gruesome. Just like, well, actually, that's just that's right at the end.
Well, that's what I mean. Like
That's
everyone,
like the least bit of you know, just far away from.
but that's what I'm saying. Everyone thinks about eating human meat like you're going at them like a lion on a gazelle. But I'm talking like, look, Bob. If we all chuck a finger in, we can survive this.
Do you think rich people, if they were prepared to pay the right price, should be allowed to buy the flesh of poorer people with more flesh?
It certainly solved the obesity epidemic.
Be an interesting model.
No, is the simple answer to that question. But at the same time, let me think, because I've got to be careful here, because I don't want to sound snide, but I think to myself, if people are allowed to donate their bodies to medical science, and they're allowed to donate their organs to save people, I reckon there should be a point. You know, we have opt-out organ donation now. I think that it should be mandatory that unless it's medical, if you reach a certain weight or there's enough meat on you that you could sustain a village, you opt in automatically. You have to opt out to your body being donated for sustenance at that point. You can opt out, but I mean, if you're that big, you're too lazy to pick phone up anyway. You know what I mean? So you're just like, sorry mate, you're going to the village.
So is that instead of organ donation, or you got to get fed? Be fed?
No, that's both. They get
Right.
your organs, then they eat you. This is still in apocalypse world, by the way. I'm not on about...
Ah, right.
I'm still on that tack. I'm not talking about like...
I thought it was just general policy.
No, I'm not talking about today. That's not the campaign I'm running on. But like, I'm saying is that's how it'd have... That's what would be one of my recipes. Would be like massive haggis. You know what I mean? Because what you get...
Just one dude.
Yeah,
got
one guy.
Haggises.
And you just do a foie gras thing.
Haggis-based plan.
Yeah, you just foie gras him. Is it foie gras?
Foie gras.
Foie gras
Foie
him.
gras.
And he just sits there. He's loving it. Because he knows it's like when the Aztecs sacrificed people. They had a great time before they got there.
Before they got there, do you mean the people getting killed? Or
Yeah. It's like they got treated like gods and they ate pistachios and they had a good time.
Wow.
Yeah, they had a great time. They dressed them all up in nice robes. I mean, they still fucking took them out, but they knew what was
Did they
coming.
definitely have a good time, or did they just get like dressed up in like if you know those are the murder robes, are they really chilling?
Well, now you're buzzing because your family's honoured forever, and you know you're going to.
I thought it's mostly just people they like took slaves and hostage and whatever and just killed a lot of people.
No, I think they had both. Maybe it was like a tiered system.
I could be getting sort of my
It
tribe.
was like having a Nando's black card. All the normal people, the peasants, they're getting their heads lopped off. You're getting special treat. Come on, this way, free pistachios and chicken. Yeah.
And then we'll take your heart out.
Yeah, I'd sign up. You got to think like I bet you working on an Aztec farm's got to be pretty boring. Just corn every day.
I mean, it sounds a lot better than the sacrifice.
Yeah, but I mean,
the entertainment value of that one is limited. I mean, very limited.
But in terms of the time, it's probably an alright way to go. As opposed to like smallpox or...
Didn't they like rip people's hearts out while they were alive? If I got the right people here.
Yeah, there is that. But I mean, at that point, you're not bothered anyway.
Oh, I feel like I'd probably be the most bothered I'd ever been in the whole of my life. I can't think of anything that's ever happened to me that even compares bother-wise.
Well, there'd be a little...
Oh, bother times like infinity.
But there's no internet then. So you'd have that little second before you died of, oh, that's what it looks like. Then you'd die.
I don't think it would take a second, dude. Like, you think just to get to someone's heart is like, that's a big operation.
The original scientists.
Like they didn't even. What was the hypothesis they're studying?
They figured out it's in the...
If we keep taking people's hearts out while they're alive, will they keep dying?
Well, yeah, but they must have figured out at some point, this is important. Let's have a look at it over and over and over again.
I'm not really sure it was in the scientific spirit. I mean, it seems quite unscientific.
Well, so was more stuff at the start. It's like that bloke who invented anaesthetic. And all he was doing was just huffing drugs with his mates. And he was like, this is good, innit? You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
Shall we move on?
we can do. Right. All right. We've got Sports Corner.
Okay.
Should the Premier League be postponed or cancelled? Should Liverpool be given the title if the season can't be finished? And should they make the footballers run around with little masks on and maintain 2 metres distance?
Right.
That's from Grace in Manchester.
Okay. The Liverpool thing, yes, they deserve it. I like Liverpool. It's probably one of my favourite cities on earth. Certainly my favourite race of people on earth. The Liverpudlians, the Scousers, I love them. I love them to bits. I think they're fantastic. I think the Manchester-Liverpool rivalry needs to kill itself stone dead, and we need to realise that we are more similar than we are different. Embrace our northern brothers against the true enemy, London. But anyway,
I wouldn't anyway. This seems fertile.
So anyway, the little masks. While I would like to see them in little masks, I know that she means like coronavirus medical masks. But it would be cool to see them in them massive, like
big novelty heads.
Yeah, you know, like the witch doctor masks.
Oh,
that'd be cool. But to be honest with you, I think what they should do is postpone the Premier League and restructure it. Because I had this idea about I don't get right. Need to be very careful now not to sound xenophobic. But I reckon what we should have with football is we don't need players from other countries. Just the people in that town. How good is Bolton at football? How good is Manchester at football? I've never understood why we bring loads of people and it's like, no. Your local football team should be that. Who's the best at football in Manchester? You know what I mean? 11 guys from Manchester and a few on bench and a manager from Manchester, a physio. Who's got the best physio? You know what I mean? Because then it'd even out. Because maybe Ipswich has got the best physio, but Manchester's got the best goalkeeper trainer. You know what I mean? But the goalkeeper from Manchester's not that great, but they've got the best trainer. So it's like, where are we going to find a goalkeeper in this city? Come on. Do you know what I mean? And it'd be like a drama all the time because then, bloody hell, the guy from Ipswich, he's just bought an house in Charlie. Do you know what I mean? Because you'd still have the mad transfer market thing because everyone would just be buying houses everywhere. You know what I mean? They've got to move because they want an house with a babbling brook with a south-facing garden. So that becomes a factor. You know what I mean? In the transfer market, can you give me a south-facing garden? If you can get me that.
Now I'm interested.
Do you know what I mean?
Now we're getting news stories about so-and-so doesn't transfer because they couldn't accommodate the size of novelty doghouse that he wanted in the garden. South-facing.
There are no nearby bus stops.
Footballers must hate it when there's no bus nearby. My God. If there's anything that irks the Premier League football more, I haven't heard of it. But then again, I know exactly nothing about football.
Well, that'd be my thing, though. That'd be my thing, and then that's why I love watching England. Because anyone who knows me during that World Cup, I go mental.
You do. You're running down the street screaming about England, waving only an England flag.
Mate, it was the best. Driving around on my bike with a 10-foot England flag wrapped around me, looking like E.T. I loved it. It was mint.
E.T. riding his own bike, it was.
Loved every second of it. I love international football.
I enjoyed your enthusiasm.
Because it makes sense to me.
I got into the World Cup.
Yeah, because it's like 11 of our people, stick 11 of your people, who's better? That makes complete sense. And again, going back to the capitalism thing, when money gets in it.
Well, that's why I used to love football when I was a kid. And then one day I turned on the match and I was like, who are these players?
Yeah.
What's that kit? Who are any of these people? And like, obviously, it all just changes, and it just clicked that like, oh, these people are just bought and sold. They're not really like the club. The club isn't really a thing. It's a owned thing. And I just immediately went, oh, and then I just kind of it's like lost it. But like, at least with the World Cup, it's not teams and brands and sort of owned by various oil states. It's like healthy competition between different countries that actually have different identities.
Yeah.
Like the fact that like Germans and Brazilians play football so differently is one of the that's one of the things that really like.
But that's why it'd be cool seeing how Mancunians and Brightonians play football different.
Oh yeah, I bet.
You know what I mean?
Oh, there's definitely my
what I
money.
mean?
Yeah.
Like how do Bristolians and people from Invernessians play football different? You know what I mean? I'd be into that. I think if we postpone, hopefully all the money will drain out and we start doing that. That'd be my bring vuvuzelas back for a season. I love a good vuvuzela. I loved it.
People do apparently.
I loved it. I know everyone were going, oh, it were night, it were wonderful. It was up there with the Mexican wave. I love a good Mexican wave.
Yes. I love Mexican wave. It's a lot quieter.
Yeah, although I've got to admit, it's probably mortifying if you're playing a gig or doing a sports thing and the crowd are that bored that they start a Mexican wave.
Well, you can have a good one. You can have it where everyone's all excited and it's like, ooh, hey! Like a good one. That is the difference between a little where and a ooh.
Yeah, it's like at festivals where you get that weird rippling effect of cheer through the campsite. It's like, that was cool. I do quite like football songs. I just don't like it when people sing them on public transport.
Oh no.
Chanting's something I don't like. Stop it. Stop doing that.
A chant is a weird thing to do in public, or kind of anywhere. Really.
There's a time and a place for it. Religious ceremonies and actually at a sports event. If you're not at a sports event, even if you're just in the pub watching a sport, if you're not there, you're not allowed. Stop doing that. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same as people who wear hands-free Bluetooth headsets and then talk really loud on public transport or just walking around or buying a coffee. It's just, why are you doing that? We get it, you've got a Bluetooth headset. Oh, but unless the broker in China is ringing you that second to tell you the deal's not gone through, give the barista 5 minutes of your time.
Thing is, it's normalised now. Like having a Bluetooth, whatever. I have one for like safety with like travelling and stuff.
Well, yeah, but
once people get used to it, it's just it's fun how it's become normalised. Walking past people and they're just talking to no one, and it's just complete. It's not even weird anymore.
That's another thing. Like AirPods, just like they don't even look that good. What if you lose one?
Yeah, I think they look dumb.
They do look dumb.
Yeah,
it's kind of like. And maybe I'm just a Luddite, but I'm
the Emperor's New Earbuds.
Yeah, with wired headphones. You can't... You know what I mean? They're strapped to you. You know what I mean? Alright, yeah, the wire goes, but...
I think that's why Apple make things like their things so expensive, so people can't stand to lose them.
Yeah. Again, I don't know, I'm a man from the 1930s in a world I don't understand. You know what I mean? Lots of things piss me off. Like many things annoy me, as you well hear all the time in the house. Like
I'm aware.
It doesn't mean I'm a curmudgeonly person. Just a lot of stuff to me doesn't seem to have much point to it. A load of things, like it's hard to think of one offhand. But
what is that? What one be?
Try to think of one that won't make me sound like a lunatic. But that's quite a short list.
I mean, we're here to get the real breezy. We don't want the lunatic filter necessarily all the way up.
Yeah, fair enough. I think something that really rags me off that... Got it. Right? Car eyelashes.
Yeah.
Why?
That's a very pointless thing. Yeah.
Because they're always on the same car. That weird Fiat bubble car thing. You know what I mean? And it's always either scrummy mummies or mad, but just mad, sort of 18 to 24-year-old girls from Surrey. I've got nothing against either of those groups of people.
Except for the car eyelashes.
But I've got what I do have something against is most of the things they do. I don't hate you for being a person. I hate you for what you do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
And I just kind of look at it and I think, you sat down and gone, you know what my car needs? An accessory.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably cost 300 quid.
Oh, I don't know about that.
That's probably cost about 50 quid. and I looked... And I look and I'm just like, that's 2 weeks of my food shop. How nice is your life? Or, conversely, maybe you're the reason for credit crunch. Stop spending money on shit.
That's the orthodoxy is that we're supposed to just keep buying because growth. Consumers got to spend, right? So, like that's a good person by society's definition.
Eyelashes.
We need more products, man. It can't just be things that are needed. We need to keep making things that aren't needed.
I
and
just think we draw a line under it.
Infinite growth.
Let's just draw a line under it. Just go.
How's that?
Let's stop here. Done. Consumer products, we're done. We're finished. All we're focusing on now is Mars colony.
So how do you propose to enforce this? This is sounding like it's going to need a pretty authoritarian crackdown to stop people from inventing
Fine by
and
me.
selling
Here's
products.
the platform I am going to run on. Vote for me. What we're going to do, everyone will be enlisted in the national service of stopping bullshit. So, car eyelash factories, we're shutting them down. Corporate lawyers, you either give up your job, we will give you a job. Give up your job or you will be shot in the street. Other things that we'll get rid of. Vegan places that make vegan food look like normal food.
Ah.
Normal food. I don't mean that in a bad way. You know what I mean? I mean, like, look, mate, it's not bacon.
They shouldn't be allowed.
No, I was just saying it to me.
Don't put that in the form of a sausage, you liar. I feel like, no, the people are going to feel the sunbreeze. Yeah, I think you're right.
Other things that we'd ban. You know what? We're going to ban them pre-mixed. No, we're going to ban Lambrini. We're getting rid of that. Lambrini's going.
Right, I know that one.
Bollocks drink. It tastes and looks like paint stripper. It's like crack in the community. It costs less than it needs to. Alcohol, it destroys lives. We're getting rid of Lambrini. Another thing we're getting rid of. Sorry, go on.
So I'm most interested in how this is being done, right? So far we have banned Lambrini and all new products and corporate lawyers. So we're going to have a ban on anyone making anything that isn't pre-authorised for having been made, but we're not going to have any lawyers left experienced in the ability of dealing with the legals of something like
we won't need them.
Production.
They will bring it in front of the Council of New Things, and we will sit there, and we'll go. Well, I say we. It'll just be me.
Who's we? Right, the Council. Council of New Things is Jake.
We'll sit there.
Okay.
All right. Well, 3 questions.
Yeah.
What's it good for?
Yeah.
Second question.
Yeah.
How much is it?
Yeah.
If it's above 40 quid, we're not having it.
Yeah. Okay.
Third, why are you doing this? If the answer is to make money, we're not having it. If the answer is because it'll be a laugh, we'll consider it. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like Crazy Daisies, they're fine. Because they're a laugh.
Crazy Daisies?
You know the one with the daisy where when the water comes it spins about? Kids love it. We'll have that.
Right, so we can have that.
Sorry.
So far we have banned Lambrini and all products, and we're allowing those spinning daisies.
Crazy Daisies.
And Crazy Daisies, sorry. And the test is, what's it good for? Is it less than £40, and why?
I'm thinking of the common man.
Right. So what's he good for?
It's not
new.
No, the common person, right?
Yeah.
40 quid is a decent amount of money for most people, right? Gig tickets. If you're paying over 40 quid for one gig, there's something up in there. There's something up in there. If you're paying over 40 quid for a meal, there's something up.
All right, so I was thinking about this. Beck's coming to town. His tickets are like circa 50 quid, and I was like, oof, I like it. But then I remembered I saw him at the festival in London, and he had like a nigh on 20-piece band. Like it was like, and I thought, actually, if you're bringing 20,
know what? Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, there will be allowances, but what I'm saying is that in general, people are struggling. Times are hard. I don't understand how anyone can justify charging the amount of money that people pay for things. You know what I mean? And again, it's a £5 a pint in Northern Quarter. Nationalise it. That's the next thing we're doing. We're nationalising the Northern Quarter.
Nationalising the Northern Quarter. Right.
But yeah, we're going to nationalise that.
Right.
I just think...
So the government is going to provide all the services that people need out of the Northern Quarter.
I don't claim to be a political philosopher. All I know...
You're just a politician. I'm getting the platform down as we go. Right?
I just think... I'll be honest with you, I just get frustrated. I just get frustrated because even now, this is going to sound like the ramblings of a lunatic. And I know that you guys hear this every day, but for people who don't know me too well, I'm going to sound really stupid. And I probably am. But it's the fact that I don't know how to articulate what I'm trying to say, but it just seems to me like there's a lot of stuff in the world that's needless.
Certainly, yeah.
Like, you know what I think we should have? Apple, for example. There should be a limit.
Have apples.
We should go like, you know what? No, not apples, but we'll move on to them. But as in like the company Apple, you're allowed to bring one phone out every 5 years. We're not having this every year. There's a new one, and then you.
So be on like the iPhone 3 or something.
Yeah. Like we should be on iPhone 2. That's what we should be on. Save it and make it mint. Make it really cool, so it lasts. There's Nokia 3310s that are still in circulation. You know what I mean? And I sound like an old man, like they used to build it for last, but like, come on now, like we've got an environmental crisis.
This is true.
Think how many phones there are at the bottom of the sea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Loads.
And there's not even going to be any reception in most of the places, so it's doubly wasteful.
You know what I'm saying though? The same with loads of things like make the switch to pencils.
Pencils.
Where does pen ink come from?
Wales.
Really?
No.
Was in the country?
No.
Oh right.
Neither kind.
But again, where does ink come from? You know what? Writing. Where does ink? I don't know where ink comes from. I've never known. It's something I've always thought about. Never thought of at Google. But surely that's not good for the environment. All in plastic pens. Everyone goes on about save the environment. They're signing the dotted line with a plastic pen.
There was a big wave of loads of promotional pens who made in like cardboard and all bamboo and stuff, but we seem to have reverted pretty much to classics.
I mean, people think I'm bloody stupid. They're signing documents with a plastic pen at the G4 2020 Summit, whatever the fuck it's called, about cut down on carbon emissions. Use a pencil. We'll start there.
So there you have it, episode 1. How did we do, Breeze? What do you reckon?
I think we did alright. I think we got a nice broad spectrum of wetness, which is
very
good.
Yeah, maybe let's pick up there, because the concept of westness was a new one to me until a few short years ago, and I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a grip on it now, but help me and the people out. What is West?
So, for anyone who's from round about Liverpool or Manchester will know, West can come in many guises. So it could be, I'm trying to think of a good example of the West. So, right, for example, the other day, I was walking down I was cycling down the street, and I was behind this woman, and there were a dildo just in road, and she hit it with a bike and fell off. That's real. That's real. That's real. That happened. I'm not joking. That happened. That's West.
Yeah, I get it now.
Honestly, that happened. And she were Italian, so she had no idea what was going on.
Did she exclaim in Italian?
Yeah, she was like, and she looked, and she was like, there's just a big dildo in the road, and I was just like, Yeah, I know, it's weird, isn't it? Like, I just giggled and got off, but that's West.
That's okay. Yeah,
she's had a West day.
Yeah,
you know I think, I think that sums it up quite nice.
Well, you've previously said it's not necessarily good or bad. That definitely sounds bad, but I guess if you're gonna have a bad day, that's yeah. Okay.
I had a giggle.
Yeah,
she laughed.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
She had an helmet on. It's all good.
So, for all our many millions of lovely listeners, when they're looking to send you their West stories, their West queries, what are you looking for?
Even if it is just a West story, it's something mad that's happened to you.
Yeah.
Uncle Breeze, my housemate will not stop leaving 2 shreddies in the bowl. How do I stop them? Oh,
you mean stop murdering them? You mean?
Yeah, I mean, even if it's just little things like, I'm feeling a bit down about being in my house, or it could be something from your past. I missed a deadline at work. What do I say? Just anything, just
that's good.
Things that are West in your life. Just let us know. We'll try and fix them. We are your premier problem-solving service.
We're definitely working on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably good to touch on, as you mentioned, what with being locked in the house. Bit of an unusual situation for us. I've been looking for silver linings, and here we are having a nice chat. Finally, having some time to catch up and talk about stuff. But, I imagine a lot of people are climbing the walls a little bit, figuring out how they're going to live and, not kill the people they live with and, see it through to autumn and all that stuff. So, whatever stories you've got, whatever's happening, we know everyone's lives are confined to a bit smaller spaces right now. But we want to do whatever we can to make a bit more sense of it and help you get through. So,
and what we'd like to do is you feel like you've just got 2 of your mates sat in the room with you and just having a good old giggle, just reminiscing. Because, most of you know me personally, but there's no one loves spinning a good yarn more than I do. So that's what we're doing. We're spinning a yarn for you.
Absolutely, and whatever you want to hear from Uncle Breeze, whatever's on your mind, we really want to hear about it. Mm-hmm. So we're really hoping to do a bunch more of these, but we need your questions, we need your problems, we need your queries
and your feedback.
And tell us, why did it suck? What's gone wrong? What's West with Uncle Breeze?
I mean, what do you think? Am I a genius? Am I an idiot?
That's one of our key questions that we're going to try and answer. So we really need your help with that one.
Thank you.
We're gonna bail.
Let it go.
Before we do, we've got to give a massive shout out to the Old Abbey, Tap House and Radio.
Wonderful people.
Absolute legends, wonderful people. Amazing to be part of something like this, just to be a little part of what's positive going on right now.
Get yourself a pint or a pizza dropped off. Support local businesses.
Or order yourself an excellent pizza from the Abbey. Do it. We're going to catch you guys real soon. We love to bring you some more of these, so get at us. All right. We love you. All right. Bye.